Hey beauties, good evening. I'm watching the news of the whole crab situation there at with the sellers, on hero circles there. And boys, I tell you what, I don't even know how to express. It's almost like twofold. One of the things I detest in life, let me make sure I'm clear, I'm not talking about them specifically. I don't believe in unsanitary situation, especially where food is being sold because people have to consume it. And these things can breed, diseases, sicknesses, ailments, and so on. So I believe in if you're running a restaurant, whether it's, or an outdoor sort of, food place, that you must have your food handlers permit. There must be indication that, because obviously you're going to need to go to the bathroom, that you have proper water, sanitary items, soap, water, tissue, in case anything should happen. And if you work there, something must happen. You're going to do number one and number two, at some point or other. Now, this is a very unfortunate situation because I listened to the lady who, was being videoed, and she said she must have been her pressure. She didn't feel so good. She took some sort of, something like you'd have how you'd have Alka-Seltz or ginger ale or whatnot, and I guess it is breaking down the acid, so it's sending everything down. So when she said she felt like she wanted to use the bathroom, and I guess it just suddenly came down on her. She had no choice but to do what she had to do because it came down, and I guess she didn't want to embarrass herself. But she said after it came down on her suddenly like that, some sort of diarrhea, she went and washed up herself. And I saw where there was a water tank based on what I saw on the news. Water tank and a few pipes. Maybe not each stall having a pipe, but I guess I'm assuming they would work out something with each other to wash and so on. And they must have water to boil those crabs. They must have, and so on. So, but what bothers me, my beautiful people, is the fact that we live in a society where we take pleasure in slandering people. Remember I say speaking truth but with evil intent. All right, you may say that she wants to protect the people of Jamaica from doing all of this. You don't need to do it that way. There's no need for you to do it. Go to them and let them know what you witness. Let us say the lady is unsanitary, she is not clean, and so on. You let her know what you witness, and caution them in a serious manner. But to videotape it and post it publicly to embarrass the woman like that, not only that, when you do these things, it has a rippling effect. It's like a domino effect. Now the people's businesses are shut down. How are they going to survive? How are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to send their children to school? How are they going to pay for groceries should this, they don't get sort of a readmission to the spot, I was listening to some of the powers that be saying that some of their food handlers permit, they were expired. It is incumbent upon them though. This is where they have to, they shouldn't be negligent because they're dealing with food, and especially seafood and all of that, and you're on the outdoor. So they really should have been very much, if it is that they would forget, they have people working with them that can help them to remind them to get this thing renewed. One, ensure that they do everything that they can to get all the sanitary means necessary, water. As I said, I saw a tank or tanks there based on the news and a few pipes. So, I was a little bit flabbergasted, to be honest with you, when you hear of what took place. But mighty God of Daniel, Jamaicans, something is wrong with us. This matter of slandering people in a situation that was just an awful, unfortunate situation. I don't think the lady in her right mind, or probably even out of her mind, would jeopardize her business and the business of the people. Why would you video it and put it on social media? Many of you, if people were to video some of the things that you do, it would cost you your jobs, it would cost you your family. And I'm not lauding, nor am I sanctioning unsanitary situation, especially where food is involved. I could not. If anybody knows me, I'm a clean freak, as they would say, very much into cleanliness, ensuring that your food is prepared properly. There's soap, there's water, your utensils are washed, everything is clean. Everything is clean. So I'm in no way, shape, or form sanctioning anything. But at the same time, why would you damage the reputation of the place, of the woman? And two, why would you create such, slander that has caused the authorities to come and do this to them? You could have, it could have been done you could have done it would have been better then if you did that and go to the authorities with it, but not circulate it. Not circulate the video. Not so. Why would you do that? You got to have an evil spirit and evil mind. And then you're going to say, oh, you want to prevent people from. You don't have to do that to prevent people. You could have gone to the authorities and they would have come. You could have done that silently. If you feel that they're doing something to sabotage people or they're being unsanitary, deliberately or not thinking, because sometimes you can be clumsy and not thinking and create problems. But why would you do that? The only way that some of you will understand is when somebody do something to you at an inopportune time, at a time when you're most vulnerable and doing something that could cost you your job and even further ramifications. I'm not in support of people trying to destroy people's lives or their livelihood. Not in support of that at all. Why would you do, and it's a big one. We are awful. This is terrible. Some of you mustn't have no phones at all unless it's a banger or phone where the camera is fuzzy, you can't see one thing. That's really, really terrible. It is unfortunate because I know that they are going to be affected greatly. That crab place has been there from Wapikil Philip. From Johnny was in his mother's womb. That's an awful situation and that's an awful human being to your actions are awful. Let me say it that way. Your actions are awful. That's wicked. That's slander. That is what you talk. That is what slander is. Although it's more of the spoken word when they say to speak truth with evil intent, but it's almost, they're linked. That's slanderous or a slanderous behavior. That's evil. My God, why would you embarrass somebody in a moment of weakness where they could not help themselves? You understand diarrhea is something that you can't control. If it comes on and you pray that, it's helpful people that are around to help you. That's not something that you do at somebody's demise. It's an ailment. A situation happened. And the lady explained that she went and washed up herself. You understand? Maybe because she probably had no choice but to go where she got, because the thing came down on her. What was, she probably was cornered. It's not as though you saw her going into the food with her. If you had seen that now, then you would say, no, this lady's then. But even then, you still have no need to go and publicize that. Many of you doing this, I don't know if it is certain views and likes, but you're not going to get what it is you desire in a good way. That's evil. That is evil and wicked. You could have, if you felt uncomfortable and if you felt that these people are unsanitary, better you got to go to the authorities with it. Let them go and check out everything and check the situation. But to come and damage people's lives like this. In a financial sense, what are they going to do? Can you help them to pay their bills? Now, I'm not saying that, they must be held accountable for their own folly. Because sometimes a foolish man is like a wicked man in terms of the repercussions that you can bring forth. So your foolish ways can be as dangerous in terms of the repercussions as somebody who is wicked when you're foolish. And that is why the greatest enemy to human being is ignorance. Now, in a case like that where the lady said diarrhea came down on her, that's a thing that you can't control. And she probably had to just jump to wherever it is, not thinking anybody would be there. Then she get herself together quickly and then get the place cleansed, get herself cleansed. Why would you video and publicly show it? You could have videoed it then and as I said, if you had some serious concerns, because it's, they're dealing with food, you go to the authorities with it. Let them come and do their work. Some of you are taking on God-like qualities, is more Satan-like qualities. Like you feel like you're God, you're the conqueror and the ruler of the world, and people do as you please, do whatever to people. That's an evil act. To publicly post that. That's terrible. You ought to be ashamed. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share